I don't know if this is going to be able to reach anyone, but I'm running out of options. I'm a sound engineer living in the town of Larchester. Currently, I'm employed by a local radio station helping running a show by a man named Ronnie Cox. It's just one of those radio shows where the DJ would answer calls intermittently throughout the day and also give his remarks on any number of subjects. The day started off fine. It was bright and sunny. The weather forecast said nothing about snow, let alone a blizzard as fierce as what is raging outside right now. I drove to the station, and when I came inside, I was greeted by both Ronnie and Stephanie, one of the producers for the show. They were having some argument about the time slot of the show, and Ronnie had been trying to pressure the higher-ups into granting more time into this show, but it was a rather useless argument since Stephanie herself had no control of the matter. Even so, Ronnie would regularly bring up the problems to her, no matter how many times she told him to take it up to the station heads. "David, you're here. Can you go into the booth and help set things back up again? Someone messed with the equipment and it needs fixing," Stephanie said as I entered the building. "It was that damn Murphy. I know it. Guy has a vegetable for a brain, I swear." "Work quick, we're on air soon," Ronnie said. "Right, I got it." I got the booth back up in working order, and then I went to take a seat at the control panel in the room just beside the booth. It wasn't long before Ronnie and Stephanie came in. Ronnie still complaining even as he entered the booth. Not really to anyone in particular, but just complaining. Stephanie took a seat next to me and sighed. "I swear, he makes me want to blow my brains out," she said softly. A sentiment I could agree with. Ronnie was notoriously difficult to work with, sort of a diva personality where he thought he should have been bigger than what he actually was. 2 minutes until we go live," Stephanie said into the microphone that connected us to the booth. Ronnie put on a pair of headphones and shuffled a few papers in front of himself and gave us the thumbs up. Ronnie flipped the switch and went into his DJ persona. "Hello, hello, hello, people of Larchester. Ronnie Cox coming to you with today's episode of Cox Calls. I hope you all tuning in are having a wonderful morning. For those of you who are commuting right now, I hope you are enjoying the beautiful weather that we are having on this chilly December morning. Clear skies and the sun is shining high. Looking at the forecast here, it'll be like that all day." Ronnie flicked through the papers on his desk. I could see him frown a bit as he read through the notes. Now, today's topic is going to be on the Larchester Secret Santa project. Any of you lovely listeners out there participating in this yearly tradition, please call in and tell me about it. While we wait for callers, please enjoy some holiday classics. Ronnie flipped a switch on his control board and turned to us. "Secret Santa? Really? You couldn't give me some better material to work with?" he asked. "Ronnie, it's a big thing here, you know that. And we were asked by the organizers to do this. Look, we got a few calls coming in right now," Stephanie replied. And Ronnie scoffed and flipped the switch back on. The first couple of calls went by like usual. One was a mother who talked about her kids participating in the event. The other was a high school kid who wondered if an adult toy could be considered a good gift to give. The kid got a few snorts out of Ronnie that he tried to contain as he proceeded to drop the call and reprimand the boy's behavior. Then came the third call. "You're on the air with Ronnie. I'm gonna need to ask that we keep it PG here. Now caller, what are your Secret Santa plans?" On the other line was who I assumed to be a middle-aged man. His voice was filled with confusion. Ronnie, it was supposed to be a clear day, right? Don't know if you looked outside, but there's some snow coming down real hard now. Like, one moment it was sunny, the next I can hardly see 10 feet in front of me." "Can you go check outside?" Stephanie turned to me and asked. I nodded and got up to head into the lobby of the station. and looked out through the glass doors. Sure enough, snow was starting to fall outside. As I stood there looking at the street, I noticed that the snowfall picked up into a blizzard in just a few moments. I could remember on my way to the station not seeing a cloud anywhere, so seeing this started to unnerve me. I took out my phone and checked the weather report. It still said there would be clear skies, but one look outside would prove it wrong. I walked back into the broadcasting room and told Stephanie about the blizzard. Thank you for the call. You know what they say about the weather here, folks. It changes on a dime. Now, I'm going to put on some tunes, and we will come back and take more calls momentarily, Ronnie said. What's going on out there? Ronnie asked. A blizzard. Seems it came out of nowhere. I'm going to try to get some more information on this. Just keep taking calls. I'll be back. I need to go grab my laptop from the car, Stephanie said. I watched her walk out of the room. Ronnie just shrugged and took another call. Caller, you're on the air with Ronnie. The anxious voice of the man came through. It was apparent by the tone of his voice something was wrong. Ronnie, I have a problem, the man said. What is it, caller? Need gift ideas? No, you don't understand. The angry tone of the caller's voice startled both me and Ronnie. I've been trying to head to my job in the next town over, but ever since this blizzard started, I swear, I'm not going anywhere. What are you talking about? Ronnie asked. I've been driving in a straight line for miles now. I should have hit the highway 10 minutes ago. I have checked the mile markers and they keep repeating. Not only that, I keep coming across other cars just parked in the middle of the road, empty. Some of them I recognize having driven past me. Something is going on out here. Stephanie came back into the room, laptop under her arm. Opening it up, she sat down next to me. This is a weird one, I told her. Guy can't seem to leave town. Calm down now. Is this some kind of joke you're pulling? Ronnie asked. This isn't a joke! Oh, God, there's another one. I just saw the truck go by me 10 minutes ago. Where did they go? The man said. That makes no sense. Tell me why someone would get out of the car in the middle of a blizzard. I don't know. I think I'm going to try and turn around. I need to head back into town. Wait. What is that? Something is coming out of the forest. It's people. They're walking out onto the road. They look wrong. There's something with them that... What the hell is that? That can't be real. I gotta get the fuck out of here. At this point, Ronnie had gone silent. I could tell by the look on his face he was just as unsettled by the call as Stephanie and I. No, shit! My engine died. It's coming towards me. Please, help! The call suddenly cut off. Ronnie sat there, silent for a few moments. Listeners, I'm not quite sure what that was. It could have been a prank call, but I'm gonna try to get some information on what's going on. In the meantime, here is a word from our sponsors. After Ronnie cut the microphone, he looked over to us. Jesus, what the fuck is going on? He asked. Stephanie was browsing through the internet but couldn't find any information at all. It was as if no one else had any clue as to what was going on here. Stephanie even tried to contact the local police department, but strangely enough, her call never got through to anyone. I noticed that numerous calls were coming in on the lines now. Maybe we should try taking more calls, I said, thinking that getting information from people in town was going to be our best bet. Let's try that. Ready, Ronnie? Stephanie asked. Ronnie nodded and went back on the air. Listeners, we're going to change our conversation subject for the day to this strange blizzard that is raging outside. I'd love to hear your opinion on it. Caller, what's your take on it? That guy that just called, he wasn't lying. There's something out there. The voice belonged to a young woman. I just went outside to bring my dogs in from the weather, and when I went to get them out of their cage, I saw them barking like mad at the woods. My house is on the edge of the forest. Can't be more than 10 meters away. Right when I opened up the cage, they bolted into the trees. A few seconds later, I could hear them hollering and yelping from the woods. Something got them, I know it. You think something attacked your dogs, miss? Ronnie asked. I know something did. Something was hurting them real bad. Those noises, I've never heard animals sounds like that. I could tell the woman on the other end was starting to cry. Ma'am, I think you should lock your doors and call the police. This is a job for them to sort out. I tried calling them. No one answered. Well, they might just be swarmed with calls. You should try again, Ronnie said. The woman was silent for a little while, but I could just make out the sound of her breathing. Ma'am, you still there? Oh, my babies. I can hear them out there. I've got to get them inside. They need my help. The woman said, You should stay inside. It'd be dangerous to head out there. I can't just leave them out there. They need my help. The woman said, hanging up the phone. Again, the three of us were left uneasy. It was clear that something very odd was happening, yet for some reason there was no official say on the matter in any form. Part of me wanted to head back into the lobby and take a look outside to see if there was anything strange outside of the building. At the same time, I began to feel afraid. Afraid of what I might end up noticing or that might notice me. You should tell people to stay inside. We should give them some advice until the situation's figured out, Stephanie said to Ronnie through shaky breaths. I could tell she wasn't used to dealing with this kind of stuff. None of us were. This was just supposed to be a casual radio show in a sleepy little town. Something like this, it just burrowed dread into the pit of my stomach. Listeners, I urge you to stay inside of your homes. Until this situation gets figured out, we should all be as safe as possible. Lock your doors and windows and stay inside. I'm sure the police will have a statement ready for us in any time now. I see we still have some callers, so let's take another one. Next caller, you are on the air. I'm working over at the gas station at Hoxton in Maine. For the past while now, there have been people just standing outside the station. I'd already locked up before they got here, but lucky I did, because they tried getting in. What the hell are the police doing? This caller was another man, his voice stricken with fear. Who is trying to get inside? Ronnie asked. I don't know. They look human, but there's something wrong with them. They got this pale blue skin, nothing but white in their eyes. They're unnatural. You're saying these individuals aren't human? No way they are. And you don't want them to notice you. Only bad shit will happen if they do. Like what? I couldn't tell you for sure, but all I know is that now and then I hear people screaming, like screaming for their lives, and suddenly they go dead silent. They're doing something to people. I've been holed up in the office and watching the security camera feed. Well, I haven't seen what they do with them, but I've noticed something strange about them. Each of them have this cable coming out of the back of their heads. Cable? Yeah, it looks like a big cable. Whatever the cables connect to is off camera. Maybe whatever they're connected to is the cause of all this. Like, they could be getting controlled by something. As the conversation went on, I could feel the terror in my stomach well up. I got up and I headed over to the door. I needed to check if there was anyone outside the station. All I needed to do was peek out. My hand trembled as I grasped onto the doorknob and twisted it. I cracked the door open and looked out into the lobby. I nearly shouted when I saw a group of people all standing at the front door, their skin a pale blue and eyes pure white. Immediately I shut the door and just staggered back. "What is it?" Stephanie asked. "They're here," I muttered. As soon as what I said registered with her, I could see a look of fear in her eyes as the reality of the situation came crashing down. No longer was this just accounts of some callers. No, whatever had come to the town was now just outside. "Shit!" I heard the caller shout. "They're busting in the windows. Oh, fuck, they're inside. Please God, no, not like this." Over the line were the sounds of a door being bashed over and over again until there was a loud crack. "What's happening over there? Hey!" Ronnie yelled. Gradually the caller's screams got further and further away until they abruptly stopped. "Sir, are you still there?" "Ronnie, whatever those things are, they're here," Stephanie said. I could see Ronnie mouthing something to himself as his hands shook uncontrollably. Then came a voice over the line. Not from the man who had called, but it was something else. A voice of something calm and collected, which uttered just 3 words. "Let me in." A sudden high-pitched shriek sounded over the line, causing Ronnie to throw his headphones across the room and each of us to desperately cover our ears. Then the power went out, plunging the room into darkness and silence, save for the sounds of the wind blowing outside. The 3 of us have been staying in here ever since then, not daring to try to leave. We barricaded the door to the room as best we could, but it would only be a matter of time before they got in. I'm using Stephanie's laptop to type all this out right now in hopes that it reaches somebody that can help. They just broke the glass to the door. I pray that if they get into this room, that whatever happens to us, it's over fast.